Hello and welcome back to the Penthouse Podcast. I'm your host, a true legend, aka DVM. I'm here with my co-host, Orlando.
Hey, how's it going, motherfuckers?
Steven.
What's up?
It'd be nice if
we had fucking
we had water.
It's okay. I have water.
Yeah, you fucking cuck.
Yeah. So this podcast starts an hour late because someone
it's
was going to
actually
get
a
water
day
for
late.
Yeah,
us.
it's actually a day late.
Day late.
Oh yeah. So this is a take 2 actually because our wonderful host is just terrible at storing data.
It's not my fault. But we were supposed to start it at 6. Well, actually, no, probably like at 5. And we waited a whole hour later, and we were in the group chat saying that Steven should bring some water because I don't have any bottled water here. And he asked, do you guys not have water? And I specifically said no. And then Orlando added, bring water. We waited a whole hour later just for Steven to tell me he's here. And I go outside, and he's there with one fucking water bottle. One bottle.
Hey, I
I'm
mean,
gonna kick your ass on these days.
yeah.
You know, we're stuck with it.
Oh yeah, that food we ate earlier, it did not sit well with me.
Why?
When I got home, I immediately got rid of it.
So me, Steven, and Lando, we went to
Long John Silver's.
Long John Silver's, for lunch, and yeah, it was actually my first time trying it. I didn't want it at first, but Lando just like, I'll take 2. I was like, oh, okay. And I gotta say, the chicken was a little bit on the salty side, but it was still good, you know?
Still not better than Chick-fil-A.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Chick-fil-A kind of disappoints me.
I'm disappointed
really,
with Chick-fil-A
It
too.
really does.
You guys aren't true chicken fans like I am.
Well,
Well, to be fair, you like chicken patties, not real
No,
chicken.
I like all chicken.
Chicken breast,
Yes.
chicken tenders,
Yes.
chicken
chicken
fingers,
legs.
Yes.
chicken fingers,
Yes.
chicken nuggets,
Yes.
chicken balls,
Yes.
chicken dick.
Yes.
Ooh.
I'll eat
anything with
anything chicken.
Anything
Oh.
chicken. Chicken wings with the bone in.
Yes.
Boneless.
Mm-hmm.
Cuck.
Boneless pizza.
Where's the piece of paper that we have? Yeah.
Oh, this guy's looking for a piece of paper.
Yeah, gotta have a piece of paper.
Oh, yeah. But beautiful weather today, right?
Beautiful.
It's all right.
Beautiful.
It's whatever, you know.
It's whatever.
I fucking hate summer, and then that's coming, around the corner.
I'd rather the summertime than the wintertime.
I'm a wonder person.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a
What about you, Steven?
I liked it before I was born. That was nice weather.
Your mother's vagina?
Yep.
Nice and warm.
sticky,
Nice, moist, warm, and wet.
and then always feeling something going in and out every so often.
You did say your father has a big dick, so...
Oh shit!
Didn't bless me, but
Fucking hell!
He pushed yours in, that's why.
you know what's sad is if you go back to when I was born compared to 9 months before, you'll find out that I was my dad's birthday present.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah, that's sweet, man.
I was conceived around November, and my dad's
What a
birthday's in
shame.
November.
What a darn shame.
But on the bright side, I was planned, unlike my sister.
Oh, yeah. So, overall, what did you think of the not Chick-fil-A, of the Long John Silver's?
It seems like I would only have it once.
Too fried, too
Yeah.
fatty?
Too fatty.
It is pretty greasy.
It
It's
is,
really
yeah.
greasy.
That's the bad thing about it.
You know, it's good for pre-alcohol drinking.
Yeah, probably is. You had how many pieces? 8?
8.
8.
He had 8 pieces in that bitch.
Dude,
Yeah.
that was a lot of chicken.
It was
That was a
it
lot
was
of
quite amazing, and it was fresh too.
You know what cracks me up is whenever you go to any, like, restaurant... Well, that's not a restaurant. Any fast food place, like Chick-fil-A. Whenever you get, like, 4 sandwiches, it's always...
Sandwiches?
Sandwiches.
The fuck?
Chicken
Yeah, he calls them
sandwiches.
sandwiches.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Get out.
Nobody... He'll
See,
get,
they're
like,
called
4
Chick-fil-A sandwiches.
Chick-fil-A sandwiches.
No
like-
pickles.
no pickles, yeah. No, but he gets them, and they're always like, oh, is that all for you? And then they're like, yeah. But now they kind of know him there because he's so frequent.
Right.
They did for a while. I think they've lost it now because I stopped going for like 2 weeks straight. But for a while, when I was going almost every day at work, I would pull in and be like, 4 Chick-fil-A sandwich, no pickle.
They're like, oh,
Like they
yeah, we
already
know
know.
you.
You guys remember the old pizza joint that used to be here in town? It was called Hungry Howie's.
I do remember that
Yeah,
place.
we used to get that all the time.
You
It
were
was
around for that?
trash. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was around.
We're not as young as you think.
I know.
Well, I was going to high school when that was around. Like, I was ditching high school to go with my friends to go to Hungry Howie's.
It
Like
was
three,
low-key
$4
trash.
It was trash. It was
It's
garbage.
garbage.
It is
pizza.
trash pizza.
But it was like $3-4 for a pizza.
I think they still exist,
It's like
though.
Little Caesars.
They
Caesars.
Caesars.
It's
Little
like
Caesars.
Little Caesars. It's cheap pizza because it's trash.
I want Little Caesars out of here, man. I fucking despise that damn pizza.
I want Domino's out of here. They're trash.
But I guess Hungry Howie's still exist.
Does it really?
Yeah, they
'Cause I
do.
think- yeah, I was
They
somewhere
exist in
around
other parts of Fresno.
Yeah, because I saw someone was delivering and it had like the big sign Hungry Howie's with the fucking. Was it a monkey? It's a monkey, right?
I don't remember. I think it's a
swear
dude. I
I
think it's just some
swear.
white guy.
I always thought it was a monkey this whole time.
You know, you ever notice all the pizza guys, Pizza Hut, Domino's, Mountain Mike's, they all have that thing on their delivery drivers' cars that say like Pizza Hut, Domino's, but
Right.
Me and Ed's doesn't. They're like the only pizza place that doesn't make you put something on your car.
They're
That's
cheap.
that's good that they don't make you desecrate your
I
vehicle.
think it's good,
Like,
but it's
you're
just
putting a
so-
magnet on the roof of your car. It's a magnet, right?
I think it goes through the window. So like it's like a line that goes through the window. That
Mhm.
way, the window just holds it in place.
Did I tell you guys about the story about Nathan? Nate?
What about Nate?
Well, he doesn't work at Me and Ed's anymore, huh?
Well, he works at the one in Kingsburg.
He had to
Right.
get relocated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that, but we're not gonna get into
Yeah,
it.
that's not. Yeah.
But he was delivering to the apartment complex, the Tangerine Hills,
Mm-hmm.
and I pulled a prank on him. Moses
Oh
was
yeah, I
there.
remember this.
Yeah, and I was working there.
Didn't you
And-
scare the shit out of
Yeah,
him?
I did because he went into one of the rooms to hand off the pizza, and he came running out, and I was in the corner with my flashlight. Once he popped out, shined it in his flash, and yelled, "Get down on the ground! Get down!" He was like, "Whoa, whoa!" Hey, hey, hey."
I can just picture him. Oh, dude, I have no
I
money.
was like, "I know what I do. What I do."
Was he a stoner? He had a very stony
I think
vibe.
he had a lisp.
Oh, I thought he was a stoner.
I mean, he might have been.
If you
but-
talk like, "Oh yeah, guy,"
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty sure you would assume.
Give me your best, Nate. As you have to go out to a far drive out in the country.
Oh, jeez, I don't want to go out that far.
Oh man,
Dude, we got to get Nate on the show.
maybe, possibly.
What does he do besides deliver?
Nothing really. He just works minimum wage job, like most young adults do now.
Except for us, because we're trying to do good things right now.
I mean, we make $1.14 above minimum wage.
Yeah.
To make $1.14.
Yeah,
Why do I make $1.12?
you make $1.12?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Interesting.
What the fuck?
We could discuss this later outside the podcast.
No, let's get Marcus on the line.
But this is Marcus.
Ah, fuck. Let's hang up.
Marcus, you're on the Penthouse podcast. Say hi to everybody. He's all, the fucking what?
What kind of gay bar are you guys running here?
I think Marcus is straight.
I think.
I mean,
don't know.
he
Is
claims to have kids and a wife. But I get this gay vibe from him, the way he talks.
the way he smokes a cigarette's hilarious.
He always holds it out like, like he's got the hand out with the...
I don't know. I think that's kind of classy. He has respect.
Mhm.
He has respect. But, Steven, how would you feel if you go to a massage parlor?
I don't do massages. It's not my thing.
Fuck. I guess
People
he's
can
out.
get it, but it's just not my thing.
I've been trying to get Lando over here to go with me to a massage parlor. But he's worried about them fucking giving him a hand job at the end.
Well, no. It's
No.
because you're saying massage parlor. That's like low-key implying that. And
No, Orlando, here's the thing. It's a massage parlor, not an Asian massage parlor. That's where you get a happy ending at.
Let's
I'm
go
not-
to that one.
no, let's not go to that one. Man, my happy ending's in my bed.
Oh,
Well, I didn't.
Whoa.
Not like that. Come on, guys.
Don.
Well, how long have you been wanting to get a massage?
For the longest time, dude, it's been years, man, and I've never gone. I don't know.
he likes the idea of a man touching his back and rubbing it.
I want a woman to touch my back. Only a woman can touch this.
Oh,
They're like, we have Tunaki over
only
here.
a woman can touch that flab.
Fuck you, man. I'm trying to get jacked, I'm trying to get ripped.
Well, it ain't working.
Oh.
Oh,
Fuck
just
his
wait till
ass up
episode
right now.
100, huh?
Yeah. We're down to 98.
98 more weeks.
98 more
Weeks? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
98
that's
more
2.5
weeks.
years almost.
Yeah.
No, that's less
No,
than
that's
2 years.
about a year.
That's actually
and
less than 2 years. It's a little less than 2 years.
Hmm.
Because there's
52
52 weeks
weeks.
in a year,
Yeah.
roughly.
About a year and how long? 8 months? Or?
Yeah, no, it's almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're still doing this in 2 years, we must be good.
We
We will be doing this in 2 years.
probably will.
All right.
Yeah.
Unless Steven drops out.
I will never.
I think you're the one that's going to...
Why would you think I would drop out of
Because
this?
you have no hope.
I have all kinds of hope.
You sure?
Yeah, I am.
I can't believe that for some reason.
You don't seem like you care about the cast.
I care about everything. The dogs, the clubhouse,
Barking in the background.
all the things that aren't in part of the podcast.
I don't know. We'll see in 2 years from now. I would like for us to get a studio. Nice, like just a square, you know, and put a bunch of acoustic panels, you know.
We'll do
Make
that
it
when we get
nice.
monetized. We'll
Yeah,
we'll
when we start, then we'll really look
And then I'll
into
get us
this.
demonetized.
Nah, get
I
us
think the
demonetized.
two of us will get... You and I will get...
Oh, definitely. Daniel's worried about his public figure, so don't worry about him.
We'll nosedive this podcast to the beyond the
Oh, yeah.
ground. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I kind of have. I feel like there's a reason why I have to worry about my public figure. I kind of grew up where no one else got judged but me. Like everyone else was kind of
What do you mean?
like people can say like things or act a certain way and people be like whatever. But if I did it, they have a problem with it. And I never understood why.
Who is they?
Yeah, who's they?
Old well, I'm not gonna call them friends anymore because they're not around anymore. Just anyone who has got a problem with me, like I don't like how you do this or what.
I think you just need to stop worrying what other people think about
Yeah,
you.
you're probably right, but that's just, I guess, part of my nature. I just worry about what people think about me. I
He's
shouldn't.
woke, guys.
I'm woke.
This is the wokest podcast, you guys.
But how do you do that? How do you not worry about what people say about you?
We just don't. We don't care what people think of us.
We're libertarians.
Right. Okay.
Oh yeah, because that means something.
I don't know.
Technically, I'm a Republican, but I do have many beliefs the libertarians have.
Just like the simulations.
Just like the simulations.
For the Republic.
Execute Order 666.
That's like one of the saddest moments in Star Wars. The shame that Disney fucked it up. Gosh. Fucking
Yeah.
Mary Sue, motherfucker, I swear.
Sounds like you got some beef with Disney.
I do. They really killed it off. You got Luke, who like worked his ass off all three films. You had like someone like Anakin, or even Obi-Wan too. You saw them grow, and then there's Rey, who literally got force powers in the. She's able to kick Kylo Ren's ass in the first film already. She never wielded a lightsaber.
And then they killed Princess Leia in real life. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I have beef with Disney.
what kind of beef do you have with Disney?
Well, I like the
the racist.
I like the World War II propaganda. I just thought they were funny.
Fucking Nazi Donald Duck.
You see, I respect Disney. They're a horrible, horrible company, but it's good for business.
Good
It's
for business.
Good for business.
Very dominant company. They love to just take whatever they want. I love that.
And they are taking everything they want.
Literally. You know, they're actually working on buying out all the properties near Disneyland so they can turn it into similar to how the one in Orlando, Florida is, where you basically have to stay on property because they want to make the park super big.
Really?
Yeah, like they want to buy out all those properties so those public streets can turn into private streets.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Talk about evil, right?
I've
It's
probably been to
good
Disneyland like,
capitalism.
maybe once though. I probably went to Disneyland like one time. I was probably like a little kid too.
I was like 5 when I went.
You see,
5 or 6.
I went probably 2 or 3 times as a kid, the last time being like 7 or 8, and then I didn't go again until freshman year of high school, and then we went once a year every year up until my senior year, and then we got annual passes and we'd go like every 2 months for like a year and a half.
How many times did you use an annual pass?
Probably a good 30 to 40.
Oh wow! So you got
And
your money's worth there.
We did, but honestly, after going to Disneyland so many times, it really isn't worth it anymore. It's kind of boring in a way, which sounds terrible.
So you pretty much did everything.
It's
and
like, yeah, once you've done everything, it's kind of like, well,
I mean, yeah.
this kind of
what's left
sucks.
there to do, you know.
So where does your mother still go? Because
I don't know. She's like, she's childish. She likes childish things.
Speaking of things getting boring, I want to talk about your first experience with video games. What was the very first video game you've ever played?
The
I think
very
Tetris for
first
him.
video game, Tetris, I believe, on the original Game Boy, like the non-color original Game Boy. That
Oh
was-
wow.
My parents had a original Game Boy when I was, I think, 3 years old is the first time I used it. And the only game we had was Tetris, and me and my dad used to play it and try to beat each other's scores all the time.
For me, it was the PlayStation 2, I believe. I played like a variety of video games though, so I can't even tell which one I've played. I think it was MX versus ATV, Scorpion King.
Those are classic.
Yeah, stuff like that. Actually, right now we have the PlayStation up in the living room, and my brother plays it every day, and pretty much. I raced him and I won. I still got my skills.
So,
For me, it was Super Mario Brothers, the original, and
Oh.
I had the luxury of playing that on the NES,
Nice.
and that was great. Then from there, it went to like Crash Bandicoot on the Sony PlayStation, the original PlayStation. That was a fun game.
I'm disappointed that you've never played Ratchet and Clank.
it's
I
just
really want
one
you
of
to
the
play it.
many series I've wanted to play, just never. Like,
It's such a good game.
there's a lot of characters from video games that I know of, and I want to play their games, but I just wasn't really in that era to play them. Like, Crash Bandicoot, I didn't play him until he got remastered on the PS4. I'd never played a Crash Bandicoot
How did
game.
you like it?
They're okay.
Yeah.
They're pretty difficult. But I mean, I kind of expect that from old games.
The Wrath of Vortex, or what was it? A remastered version?
Yeah,
or
it's all three of them.
all three of them.
I played all three of them. I'd never played Spyro until the remastered version. I've never played Sly Cooper games. Ratchet and Clank. Banjo-Kazooie. I've never played a Banjo-Kazooie game. Always wanted to play one of those.
You know, I want you to get into the Resident Evil franchise. Like Resident Evil 4 is my favorite. That's my favorite game, hands down. But I want you to play it, but I feel like you're just gonna rip on it, and then you're gonna ruin the game for me. It's a
Resident
really good
Evil.
game, though. I like the story.
I generally don't rip on video games. Although, there's a different way I'm going to ruin it for you, Orlando. I'm going to be instantly better at you than it.
Oh shit.
Well, the good thing about that is, you have to beat it once, and then you unlock a character, or you unlock costumes on the second one, and
So there's a new game plus.
yes, so you get after you beat it a second time, I think you can get like an infinite rocket launcher, which it's kind of stupid, but
So it's like, keep beating it and you'll get cheat codes.
pretty much. And,
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, for me, my last.
So you just slaughter on the
my
the more.
My
go ahead.
first. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I mean, after you beat it the first time, it's the same thing. Just you slaughter and it gets harder, and yeah,
Well, we're still talking about Resident Evil, right?
yeah, it's still Resident Evil.
I remember my first memory of Resident Evil. I had a friend back in elementary school. He actually was my neighbor, not anymore. But I just don't remember. It was like a level. You played as a dude. Then there was this room where a freaking giant spider over a dead body, but it looked like they were both dead anyway. And
Which
the moment,
Resident Evil was it?
I have no idea. And then the moment you walked outside the door, there was this big, gigantic monster just slowly walking up to you. It looked all gross and disgusting. And there was multiple. And they were, I guess, hard to kill. And he was all freaking out about it. He was like, oh, oh, oh. He was like freaking out about it. And I'm just like, that's kind of scary, but I don't know what game that was. I know it was a Resident Evil, though.
Well, speaking of games, Steven, what's a scary game? I want want to
Well-
play like a really scary game.
I think it depends on
Minecraft.
your age and how you look at video games. Like, for someone like me, video games aren't real, so they can't really scare me because it's like, it's not real. It's not actually happening. What's scary about it? But I think for younger people, they're more influenced by what's happening in the game rather than what it really is.
Mhm.
And I mean, scary games, it could be like Dead Space. A lot of pretty much zombie games in general are usually kind of scary. They'll have jump scares. That's why most of them are for adults or older audiences. You know what's funny is a game that used to scare me as a kid that wouldn't really like The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. I used to be scared of the moblins in that game. I'm not sure why they used to scare me, but they used to scare me when I was a little kid.
The reason why I would get scared in games was because I was always into the game, so whenever playing it like a scary game, I didn't want my character to die because I always like in my head I would be like, that's me. I can't die. So that's why I would get scared and freak out and like clench and everything, get up, freaking spaz out and just scream into the mic like, oh no, no, and stuff like that. But that's the reason why I would get scared.
Do you have any games specifically you can remember?
I know Outlast was definitely one of them.
Why did you play that as a kid?
It's a good game.
It's
such
a
good
great game.
What's
but
that game about?
It's an insane asylum, right? It's an insane asylum that, and you're
Why would you
News
play that as a
reporter,
kid?
like a reporter.
yeah, you're like some kind of reporter, and you're trying to get some information from this place, but it's full of crazy people that are just trapped inside this abandoned insane asylum that are trying to kill you.
Yeah, it's a really, you should really play it. I recommend it.
I think there's some scenes where like a guy will try to kill you, and someone else will take care of that person. You're like, oh shit, I don't want to mess with him.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
I know there was a scene in that game where you get captured by one of the doctors or something, and he cuts your fucking fingers off. And you just get to see your character's fingers just getting cut off by like a big pair of scissors.
Yeah, not for the younger audiences.
I can't believe they do that in video games. That's pretty.
Oh, they do some interesting things in video games.
What's the
They're-
craziest thing you guys have seen on any
Probably one of the most brutal things I've seen in video games, at least recently, was the new Modern Warfare story mode.
Oh,
That's-
okay.
I
yeah.
forget the name of the level, but they're clearing a house.
Clean house.
Clean house.
Clean house, something like that.
That level is probably, if not that level, the level where you play as the girl as a kid. Either that level or Clean House are probably two of the most brutal things I've seen in recent video games.
What is that?
So in Clean House, you're going through this house, clearing it out from whatever these guys are. I think, are they terrorists or something?
They might be terrorists.
Some kind of bad guys. But there's also civilians in the house. And the issue is, like, the thing that Modern Warfare or Infinity Ward was going for was they wanted to capture the realism of war and how sometimes civilian deaths are unavoidable. In this house, it's very possible to accidentally kill civilians because they run out in front of you, they just come out of nowhere, or things like that. And there's actually one scene where the civilian is scared, and in response, she tries to go for a gun to defend herself, and you have to kill her.
You have to choose. Either you get killed or she dies.
Really?
Yeah.
And there's actually probably the most traumatic part is there's one room where you open the door and there's no enemies in there, but there's a girl holding a baby. And if you accidentally kill the girl holding the baby, one of the soldiers will walk up, pick the crying baby up, and put it back in its crib. And then the level just continues.
Yeah, should play that game too. I bought it and I kind of got into it for a bit because I know they had that new multiplayer mode shipment like 24/7.
Oh, yeah.
Thing is chaos. Recently I stopped playing it.
Well, unfortunately, the newest console I have is a Switch.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart, dude.
Mario Kart.
That game just became my favorite simply because it's so competitive and you can keep on playing and I'm not passing it yet. So I have
It's addictive. I think
it's very addictive, yeah. Especially when you're playing with people. And then when you're at like 8th or 10th place, then makes you want to get better.
Yeah. Right now I've been playing a lot of Minecraft though.
Oh, yes, that's a classic.
It's a good game. It's still a good game.
Probably the one of the best games of all time. Not my favorite of all time, but it's up there.
Yeah.
Definitely some memories.
Why?
Minecraft is like the ultimate sandbox game.
Mhm.
If you
What
don't
do you
know
mean
if
sandbox?
you don't know what a sandbox game is, basically they throw you out into an open world and say do whatever you want. That's what Minecraft is. There's no objective, there's no end goal. You just do what you want.
But there's no missions.
I mean, technically there is a
Well, there's
mission.
no definite end goal. You don't
Right.
have to do anything.
And you can't really find out how to do it. You kind of have to.
You just kind of play it and figure it out as you go.
Yeah.
There's no like guide online. That's why kind of like South Park makes fun of it, saying adults don't know how to play the game because
How do you tell my horse in Minecraft?
yeah. Well, it's a joke because when adults think about video games, they think, okay, mission, objective, go. But Minecraft doesn't do that. They just kind of throw you in there and it's like, go, do whatever you want.
do whatever you want.
Here, I'll
You
give you
can
the right to
build
call me a
stuff,
boomer,
you
but that's
can
what I feel like a
attack.
game should be like.
Like you can build stuff, you can attack enemies, you can go mining, you can do whatever. You don't have to do any set thing. And I played Minecraft for the first time when it was an alpha, and seeing what it is now today is just insane. on how much it's grown.
Even PS4 got the Bedrock edition, so they're up to date
Okay.
to PC. And I think right now for Minecraft for the PS4, we're waiting for the servers because they haven't added servers yet. And I think once servers get up and running, I think it's gonna be a good time. I can't wait to do videos on that though. Just waiting for the servers, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Minecraft,
What other games you guys been playing lately?
BioShock Infinite.
That's a bit of an older one. It's been out for a while.
Still a good
huh?
one though.
I've never played anything in the BioShock series.
You should.
What
They're free right now. Actually,
What's
the collection.
what's the story there? What goes on in that game?
For the first one, it's been a long time since I played it, but I think the first one you go to this tower, and I think you take like an elevator or something, and it takes you to an underwater like city. And I think something already happened in there, like people just gone insane on something, and it's just like an outbreak. And yeah, you're supposed to be looking for somebody.
So is this some kind of RPG? What is this? What kind of game is this?
It's a first-person like thriller kind of game.
First person thriller.
Yeah, like there's some parts of it
Would
scary.
it be similar to like a Resident Evil style game?
No. I guess I know you upgrade. You get like these kind of powers that you get to shoot with your hand or something like that.
Okay.
And yeah, and then there's these monsters called Big Daddies or something, where it's like a big
Big Daddy.
and the Big Daddy. I think that's what they're called. I hope that's what they're called.
Yeah, they're big. They're Big Daddies. I know. I always used to think that was a joke until I looked into it. I was like, wow, they're actually called Big Daddies.
Yeah.
Was it like Japanese and then they just translated to English?
I
or-
don't think so. Oh man, that's funny.
Oh, so Steven, I have a question about our. Well, it's pre-Me and Eds for you.
Premium Eds?
Yeah.
Okay.
You had, well, when I was working there, you were coming in, and it was like a regular thing for you. It seemed like you were coming in just about every day I was working, and you got a large pizza. Double pepperoni,
No cheese.
Okay.
It's disappointing, Steven.
How is that disappointing?
That's disgusting.
You can't knock something till you try it, and I guarantee you, it is
Well,
so good.
people like fucking pineapple on pizza, and I absolutely hate it.
Oh.
And I could say it's the worst thing ever because I've actually tried it.
Well, you see, a lot of people that when I even worked at Me and Ed's, I won't say their names, they used to talk so much crap, so much shit about how I'm a disgrace, how it's like a sin to not put cheese on pizza. And then they took the risk, they tried it, and they're like, I hate you, Steven, because I like this better.
Do you at least put cornmeal in yours?
Of course.
Yeah,
Because
some
that's the
people
way you're
don't.
supposed to make it.
I know, because some people
Have you
don't.
been to Mountain Mike's?
I
Dude,
have. Mountain Mike's
perfect
pizza is terrible.
Freaking Land over here
Oh,
puts
man.
flour in his.
Well, so does Mountain Mike's.
Such
You
a
see,
weird
they
thing.
got away
the
with it.
problem with Mountain Mike's is their pepperonis. I don't like classic pepperoni.
Is it just the pepperoni that you don't like?
That's mainly what it is. Their bread's meh, but I mean,
I think they're better than Me and Ed's. I
I-
really
I
do.
don't.
Well, his beef is with the pepperoni, and that's the only topping he has.
pretty much. I mean, Me and Ed's is a clear favorite for me. My
No pun
second
intended.
favorite is no pun intended.
The beef, your beef with the
Oh.
pepperoni.
Oh man, we got to get one of those sound effects. Dun-dun, tss. No, my
edit that
second. It's gonna surprise you guys, but my second favorite pizza is probably gonna be Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut.
Yeah, like when we went for Joanna's birthday, was it? I really enjoyed that pizza.
Really?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the pizza, the pepperonis,
I
the
was
sauce, and the
disappointed
crust.
in the wings, to be honest.
They were.
Oh, see,
they were-
I didn't try the wings.
Yeah.
The one that Joanna got, the one that was the mild one, were fucking spicy as fuck, bro. But then she needs to, and then she can't handle the Me and Ed's, but I can. I can eat 12 of those.
I don't think our Me and Ed's wings are spicy at all.
I mean, after a while, when you keep eating them, they do get you. But the ones with
I didn't feel them
I've-
spicy. I had to put like
Sure?
pepper flakes in there. Yeah. I had to put pepper flakes in
You
there.
know
just to
what's
get 'em
funny
spicy.
is they didn't really smell spicy to me or taste spicy, but when you're cleaning those dishes at the end of the night, those fumes, oh my gosh.
Yeah, with the hot water.
Yeah.
man.
Oh, it's not a good combination.
No, but what I was getting at was, were you doing like a supersize me kind of challenge on Me and Ed's before you started working there?
No, I just loved Me and Ed's, and when your body is used to eating so many calories, it's not very hard to input that many calories. So I was used to eating a whole large pizza. So eating a whole large pizza wasn't a problem for my body.
How did it start though? Because you just came in one day, You got a pizza.
Well, I've always liked Mianid since I was younger, but I used to have to share with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And as we started getting older, my mom used to buy me and my dad our own pizzas because he liked jalapeno on his. And while I'm not against jalapenos, I don't like that they make my mouth hot. They taste fine. I just don't like the way they make my mouth feel.
The tingling of the...
Yeah, they're a little juicy for me. But I guess as I ate more and more, I got used to eating more and more of the pizza until eventually I could eat the whole pizza without any issues.
That pizza became a part of you.
Speaking of pizza,
You know, I feel like we could do one of those episodes where I just talk nice into the microphone, nice and slowly, kind of like NPR radio.
In a very monotone, kind of.
very monotone. You gotta like it, you know.
This is too good.
Steven.
No, I love those memes where it says when your drunk uncle and his brother or whatever get in a fight over something that happened 20 years ago or something.
Dude, that is very relatable at this moment.
Oh, yes.
Oh, really?
I'm not gonna get into it though. Gosh,
What if we want to get into it?
it's not good for me. Nah, I just can't. I feel like I can't talk about issues, especially if it's about, you know, family.
Later on, maybe in the 50
If
or 100
if we're rich and
episodes.
then I don't give a shit about anything, then yeah, maybe.
Oh, trust me, if we're rich, I'm name dropping everything.
Oh, Steven, you're gonna ruin your reputation, man.
Once you're already rich, you don't care what your reputation is.
I feel like I still would though. I feel like it's good to care about your reputation though.
I mean, here's the thing. Reputation can be good based on how you perceive it. If people perceive you as an asshole, but you're a funny asshole, kind of like Louis C.K. or Bill Burr or Ricky Gervais, I think you've done well.
You know what I wish right now?
Imagine being a woman and then having to date those assholes. That seems hard. Like,
I mean, I think there's some, it's definitely rare, but there are some women that have a good sense of humor out there that understand, hey, it's just a fucking joke. He's not really like that.
Bill Burr is pretty angry. I love his comedy. He's
but he
one
has
of
a
my
wife,
idols.
doesn't he?
He has a black wife.
He still has a wife, and obviously she loves his comedy. Or something else, I mean.
The money from his comedy.
Hey, just because rich people have wives doesn't mean they're in it for the money.
No,
Oh.
his wife's pretty, but it's funny because her ideology is so like on the other side of the spectrum, like compared to
Did
him.
we get into that?
Well, that's perfectly fine. You can have opposite opinions and still be happy together.
But did we get into that? Since you mentioned a black woman, did we get into the one that we saw at Long John's?
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh, your horniness?
He was hard for her, big time.
Well, she walked in with like 4 kids, and no,
No.
got to do something.
You see,
to...
I'm not racist, but I can't really see myself with a black girl. They're just generally not my type.
It's okay.
It's about type, you know.
It's
but
not.
people-
It's not about like the race. It's more about like if you're ghetto, like get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with Mexicans. If you're ghetto, like, get
Yeah,
out.
dude. Here, I'm gonna.
And I mean, I've seen some ghetto white bitches. They're crazy. They're like the ones that'll actually do hardcore drugs.
Yeah.
Well, here's how I feel about like Mexicans that are the gang banging type or whatever.
Well, they're all talk.
No, there are some that are legit.
They're mostly all talk.
They're gonna pull a gun on you.
No, there are some that are legit.
They
and
can't even get a gun.
No. But dude, if you're second generation American, but a descendant of Mexicans, it's like your family came here to give you a better life, and this is what you do with it. You're gonna go into some gang. You're gonna
Well,
like,
it's all dependent on their heredity and their genetics on how they grow up. That's a big part of it. I mean, you could be this genetic prodigy, but if you grow up in a shitty, asshole home, I mean, it's gonna mess with you.
what if you're in a good home though, and then you just want to feel like the bad guy or like the tough guy, and
Well, I mean, good homes have their bad things. It's just in different ways. I mean, I feel like my home growing up was pretty good for the most part, but it definitely had its bad tendencies. Like
I think towards the end.
Well, I mean, my parents even before were always fighting. Like
Really?
they were almost always fighting, and I just used to think it was because my dad like had problems understanding my mom. With
Did you
his
witness the
disorders.
fighting?
Yeah, all the time. It was constant.
So what did you think whenever that
And,
was happening?
I mean, I just used to think they would fight because my dad had a temper issue just because he would get frustrated with his inability to comprehend some of our stuff. And my mom would get frustrated with him yelling and getting mad at her. So I just used to think it was a normal thing.
Now that you're talking about that, do you care to explain to our audience why you say that? Because you're making it sound like your mother just married a retard when that's not the case.
Okay, so my dad grew up mostly normal. He's always had hearing issues since he was young.
That doesn't make him.
But he mostly grew up normal. He had like a normal job. He worked in Clovis. I don't know what his position was, but I know he worked in Clovis for most of his career and most of the time I was around. But right around the time I know I was at least 4 years old. I don't think I was 5 yet. But I just remember my dad came home from work early one day because he was feeling sick. And at like 2, 3 in the morning that day, my mom started screaming and freaking out. And me and my sister didn't know what was going on. And then a couple minutes later, the fire department came and took my dad away on a gurney. And I just remember our grandma coming to pick us up. But my dad had a stroke. And throughout the rest, all the way up until I was about 14, 15, he had a couple more, at least 3 or 4 that we know of. But we couldn't figure out why he was having them.
So he was having seizures and you guys didn't even know?
Well, no, the first time he ever had a seizure was that night when I was 4 or 5 years old.
Oh, okay.
And that was one of the side effects of having the stroke. And having that many strokes over his lifetime kind of destroyed his brain and destroyed other parts of his body, like his large intestine. And there was actually a couple times where they thought he was going to die. So it was my dad was born normal, but because of his disease, he's become mentally retarded.
But
So,
that's
and I think
that's a genetic trait, right?
We think it's genetic. I mean, we're pretty sure he has a blood clotting disorder and it's genetic, but I mean, we don't know for sure. It's just we know his blood gets thicker than a normal person's. That's all we really know, and that's what's causing the strokes.
So he has to take like blood thinners and
Yeah,
shit?
he takes blood thinners. But growing up, I always used to think they used to fight a lot because he would get frustrated with his inability to comprehend things, and my mom would get frustrated with his like anger at yelling at her for it.
He would yell at her?
Yeah, they would both yell at each other about
But it never
things.
got like aggressive or violent?
No, never like that. My dad was also just a negative person because of it most of the time. It was hard to please him, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of why, like, growing up, I used to think they just normally fought because of his condition. I didn't think it was anything crazy until I obviously got older and realized my mom was cheating on him. So
Shit. I like how we went from black women to this. I didn't even get to say what I was gonna talk about before you guys got into it.
hey, this is a podcast that just we're jumping. We're moving forward.
I know.
We're
right?
riffing.
I was gonna say how I saw a black chick at my school in the cafeteria and she was fucking gorgeous.
He saw the first gorgeous black chick.
I don't do.
Oh
I'm gonna
my
be honest.
gosh.
She was fucking gorgeous, dude. She had me staring. I was just like, holy smoke, she's beautiful.
You know she has a little white in her.
Hey, I'm sure that like you like what you like. I mean, I'm sure there's beautiful black women out there. They're just
there
not my
is.
type.
It's just the most that you see are not your type. I will say.
Yeah.
I think it's a ghetto that we're unattracted by.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the race.
Well, you see, that's their culture, though. For most of them, they grow up talking like that, witnessing that. I mean, it's obviously not. It's a stereotype that all of them grow up like that, but statistically, a lot of that happens in the black household. All the ghetto, the fights, the crime, and kids growing up seeing that, they imitate their parents. I mean, it does happen to Mexicans and whites. It happens to everybody.
It's pretty unfortunate that, society kind of holds them to that. Like, even though we're not segregated, we kind of are a little bit.
Explain. How do you think we're segregated?
Well, like, I'm not saying all white people, but some white people only fuck with white people. Some black people only fuck with black people, and they don't want anything else with anyone else.
Well,
Mexicans-
That's just how they are. It doesn't mean that we're segregated.
But they're self-segregating.
Well, that's just
They
them.
choose to do that. That's not the country itself.
Right.
That's not the country segregating them.
Self-segregation, though.
I mean,
It's
I'm
still-
sure
it's
it
still
exists. I
segregation.
mean, everything bad still exists in the world. There's no 100% like thing that's gone. Like there's no bad thing that's happened in our past that's completely gone today. Everything bad still exists, just not as predominantly as it may have in the past.
Nazis.
Well, okay.
Hey, Nazis
They
do
still
still
exist.
exist. They're
They still
not as
exist.
predominant as they were back in, Europe 1939, 1945.
They're about to make the greatest comeback in history.
Dude, towards 1945, they're like,
They're
oh,
on a
fuck, are we
comeback
sure
tour?
about this?
Hey, they're on a comeback tour.
No.
Oh, man.
No, but yeah, I mean they're always gonna exist. There's never gonna be a pure like everyone's good kind of society. It's just not in human nature.
Not if you're woke, Steven,
At
like
least
me.
it's not in free human nature, I should say. I mean, if the government controlled everything, they could make that happen, but that's just not right.
That's why we needed the government to control us.
You have the freedom to be a Nazi. That's what's so great about this country.
Yeah. Dude, you're a libertarian. You're saying shit that, like, come on. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own opinions, and they should feel entitled, or not entitled. Sorry, wrong word. But they should feel how they feel and be like, that's fine. That's how you are. That's fine. Like, to me, that's what being a libertarian is. Like, live life how you want it.
You got anything to add there, Daniel? Besides, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you talk about like Democrats or Republicans, like Democrats are like, oh, we want the people from the right to listen to us and do what we do, and this is what's okay. And then Republicans are like, no, and then they do their thing and they want what they say to be okay. It's like, no, everybody should feel free to feel how they feel and think how they think.
So on that note, let's go get a massage.
You're entitled to go get a massage,
Yeah,
and I
You,
respect
come on.
that decision.
Let's go. Come on,
You
let's
need
just
to
do
respect our decision to not want to get one.
Fuck you, I don't give a damn.
You're being such a Democrat right now.
You are being a Democrat right now.
Fuck.
You're being a leftist.
See, if he was being a Republican, he would say, "Let's go get a massage because that's what God wants."
Oh man,
No, we don't do that here.
We don't do that
We
here.
don't do that here.
that sounds very Middle Eastern.
We were trying to imitate. I don't know what his name is, but he's Black Panther in the Marvel movies. I don't know what his actual
T'Challa.
T'Challa?
Well, the character's name, I think it's T'Challa.
Oh yeah. See, I don't know what his actual name is, but it's whoever plays Black Panther in the Marvel.
You talking about
movies.
the actor?
No, like his in movie name. Like you know how like it's
T'Challa.
Tony Stark.
Yeah,
Or
I think it's T'Challa.
Peter Parker for Spider-Man. All that stuff.
Yeah.
Man, you guys are alcoholics. You just want to keep going and going and going.
I pointed at you.
No, it's because I'm feeling like a sense of warmth in my
A
center.
sense of warmth.
That
Am I
means he wants
center?
another shot.
Yeah, that means I want
Isn't that what women feel after we finish?
Oh,
They're like, I think I'm pregnant.
Well,
more! Give me more!
well, I think I'm pregnant. Have you guys seen what's that movie? A Hot Tub Time Machine?
I've never seen the whole
No.
thing, but I've seen bits and pieces. It isn't the main character like have to fuck his own mother in order for him to be born or something?
No.
Or what is it?
Jesus.
No.
Steven, you're off.
There's a kid who's a guy's nephew who later on when they go back in time, they realize that the father of the nephew was actually a friend of the uncle. So pretty much the friend of the uncle has to fuck like the mother of the nephew in order for him to be born. So he's disappearing and when they go back in time, and when he lays her down and does his thing, he comes back to life like in the past. And that whole scene is hilarious because he just comes back and he's like, it was so beautiful, and then he just beats the crap out of his own father.
Wait, what? I need to see this movie.
I'm talking.
All I heard was, once he lays her down, and that was it. That was it.
I need to see this movie because I'm so confused but curious at the same time.
It's because it doesn't rely with physics. It doesn't rely with you can't physically do that. So that's why it doesn't make sense. But if you watch a movie,
it's just a time paradox. I mean, it's an end. I forget the name of the paradox, but
Where are we going from here?
no, this isn't Call of Duty.
Mob of the Dead.
Mob of the Dead.
Purgatory.
It needs to be his blood.
Stand back, you imbeciles. You want my blood. Take my blood.
hey, isn't it kind of ironic that like in rap music, I don't listen to rap music because of the stuff it says, but a lot of people that listen to it don't really comprehend like the lifestyle or what they're really saying. Like in rap, they'll talk about money and bitches and cars, and it's like people that listen to that tend to not have money or cars. I don't know about the women, but
I don't think modern rap is talking about anything meaningful in what they say, personally. I definitely think old rap like Eminem, Tupac, Lil Wayne, all the old stuff had some meaning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
there are rappers that are real lyricists and not all this mumble rap.
But a lot of the modern age rappers, I don't think they have a lot of meaning behind their own rap anymore. I think a lot of them just rap the same thing but different.
Money and hoes and weed and
there's
coke
definitely
and
still
drugs.
meaning in some people's rap today.
Definitely,
but it's
definitely.
not.
It's not common.
It's not. I mean, Logic has meaning in his rap.
I heard he stole his rhymes, but
I mean, you can hear what you want, but until proven. I mean, Post Malone claims his raps have meaning.
no.
Which is probably why his
Party
first
like a
album
rock star.
is-
Party like a rock star.
I don't know the lyrics to Rockstar, but apparently that first album he ever did
Hold
has
on.
a lot of meaning in it.
Hold on. I just realized Steven's shirt.
What's wrong with my shirt?
I just realized it right now. It's Ratatouille.
Yeah, my favorite Disney movie.
Oh, I thought it said Chicken Little or Little Chicken.
Or
Little
I mean,
chef.
Pixar, Disney. I mean, they're basically the same. I mean, I think Disney owns Pixar, don't they?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
I like
Doesn't
Pixar,
Disney
but I
own
don't.
Pixar?
Yeah,
They do.
Because I know they
I think
used
they
to be
do.
independent and they used to work together, but I'm pretty sure Disney owns them now.
Well, going on what you were saying.
Think I watched an interview, but I think Post Malone's very first album was about this unnamed girl he used to know, and everyone was always trying to figure out who's the girl, but he won't tell them.
Have you guys ever had dreams like that of dreaming about a girl you've never met? Because that's happened to me.
Have you ever dreamt about a girl that you've never met, and then later on, within a few days, you actually meet them?
Answering
I
a
had
question
that
with a
once.
question.
I've met
Bullshit. I know.
I've met 2 girls in my dreams that I've never seen in my life.
Did you meet them in real life?
No,
Um,
not yet.
I can't say I have. I mean, how would I know if I'm ever gonna meet them or not?
One of them was a white, like chubby girl. Then the other one was like a petite, like Mexican. The last thing I remember, I was laying
that
down.
sounds
and
about right.
I mean, I honestly can't say I remember most of my dreams. I mean, the dreams go away pretty quick after you wake up, so
There are dreams that stick on you, though.
it depends.
sticks
It
on
depends
me.
on how traumatic it is, I think.
I guess meeting them is very traumatic. I
Do you think it's
guess.
based off trauma?
It could. I think that's a big factor, or it depends on how significant the memory is to you. Something else you can do is you can keep a dream journal, and when you wake up, you're supposed to write down everything you remember from what you were sleeping, and it helps you remember your dreams better.
Have you ever done that?
I haven't, but it's more for like if you want to try to lucid dream and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm already pretty good at that, so I don't really have to do that.
Do you guys have like crazy dreams?
Oh yes, definitely.
All right.
I did some stuff that it prohibits that from actually happening.
I'm not sure. We're almost to an hour. You think we should leave that one for the next podcast?
I think we can keep
maybe?
going for a little while.
You guys want to talk about our crazy dreams then?
I could talk about a few, but I can't talk about my craziest dreams because then we're gonna get on some FBI watch list.
Oh. It's just your mind going off in all directions.
Steven in a white
I think
van
I've got
with
a
candy?
story for my craziest dream, because it doesn't directly involve me. So imagine being in a simulation and you're there, but it's like it's a simulation. So it's happening, but no one else can see you. You're just watching it basically happen. Like people can walk through you. You're just there. My dream, and I don't remember a lot of the details. I just remember I was at school. I don't think it was Fresno State, but it was a college. I was at school. And there was like an active school shooter, and I was just watching him murder all kinds of people, and I wasn't doing anything about it. I was just watching.
I don't think that makes you anything. If everyone's going through you, you can't really do anything.
Well, no, like, I just thought it was weird how it didn't scare me or affect me. Like, I was just going through the most, like, that's a normal, like, it's just happening, like, whatever. Just watching this school shooter fight and murder a bunch of people, and then I can't remember the details of what happened when eventually the cops showed up in my dream because I think I woke up. But I just thought that was weird that when I woke up, I was like, usually something like that would cause fear. And then, the fear itself would wake me up.
I think the fear comes with being in it. From the sound of it, it doesn't sound like you were actually in the shooting.
I was basically
watching it?
I was basically following
He was
the
the
shooter, or I was like, think of it like I was either following him or sometimes I'd be in front of him, but he's ignoring me. Like I didn't have this sense of urgency to get away from him because it's like I felt like I wasn't in danger, but you would think you would want to feel like you're in danger.
What about you? Any crazy dreams?
Yeah, actually about where we work at, actually.
For security?
Yeah. I don't know. I was offered a position to be a CEO of the company, something like that. But it was this new program.
CEO of an employee-owned company?
No, I know. It sounds stupid, but that's literally how the dream is. But the way to do it is that they had to put you into some cryostasis or something, cryosleep for 3 years. And then you would become a CEO.
Really?
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
interesting. I didn't say really.
But that's not the problem. That wasn't the scary part of it. The problem was I did it. I got put into this kind of box, and I had a partner too. And with I think it was a girl. It was a girl, and we got put into this chamber. Then they froze us up. I woke up 3 years later, but in a different environment, and it looked different. New employees and everything, and my partner wasn't even a girl anymore. It was a guy, and I was like, "You're not my partner." He's like, "Well, I don't know. I'm just here."
He transitioned. Or she transitioned.
It's the next Bruce Jenner.
But after that, I got all my stuff because before I did it, they told me to put my phone, all my stuff in this locker or in this bag. None of it was there anymore. It looked like I was in a different area. And I was freaking out, and I just remember running out, and I took this elevator, and for some reason, it was a secret fucking laboratory under the high school.
Interesting.
And there was a bunch of kids just running around, and I think they just ended class 2. And I was running out. I think I had like some fucking big ass beard too. Like it was just massive beard. Like if I was in an island for like fucking years. And I remember walking the sidewalk to Walmart, and there was fuck. Can I add that in?
Yeah, cut that out.
Cut that out. All right, cut that out. And there was a patrol vehicle, and it was some random employees like, "Welcome back, sir." And I was telling him what happened because the town looked different now. And he's like, then he started getting angry. He got back in the car and started fucking punching the shit out of his steering wheel. And he was fucking just fucking hammering it. But after that, I ran back home actually, and this whole side of the neighborhood was completely destroyed. All the houses were burnt down. Nobody was living here. And then for some reason, your sister lived on that side. For some reason, on a raggedy old house.
What's that side for the viewers?
In the ghetto.
The other side of this neighborhood, because there's 2 neighborhoods right next to each other.
I thought the other side of town.
No, it was right across from this neighborhood, and I knocked on it because for some reason I don't know how I knew your sister lived there. And apparently, she was divorced.
Oh.
But she looked bad, dude. She was kind of grayish, red eyes. I just remember her yelling at me, "Where the fuck have you been? So much has happened." And I'm freaking out, like, where's my parents? What happened? Weren't you not married? What went wrong? And after that, I took off running. I eventually found where my parents lived. They lived in this other house. I think my mom tried slapping me because she's like, "Where have you been?" And I was like, "What the fuck happened?" And I guess I also found out most of the people I knew were dead. Just random friends were just fucking dead. And I guess they had like a memorial, and I saw their names right there, just like a whole list of it. And yeah, I woke up from there after that, just freaking out about it. I was like, "What the fuck?" But that was my crazy.
It's a bit random.
It is. People dying. Yeah,
Huh.
It was insane.
What about you, Orlando? Any crazy dreams?
Well, I've had my dreams. Not many that I can recall, but this was when I was little, but I can still recall this. But I have this cousin, and he doesn't have a mullet. He never had a mullet. But in my dream, he had a mullet. And he was just like the spawn of fucking Satan. And then, you know those gargoyles, those creepy fucking things?
You mean like the half man, half owl statue things?
Yeah. Yeah, so he became one of those. And I don't remember much besides the fact that I was stuck in a room and then he was just watching me from above and I couldn't get out and I was just trying to get out, but I couldn't.
Well, his dream is short and
I
unimpressive.
know. It was so short.
But in my defense, this happened. Like this dream is from like when I was like 11, 12. So
Getting in and not being able to get out or something like that.
yeah.
Okay,
Alright.
Orlando's terrible on this segment. I mean, I think we definitely won here.
Big time.
Oh well, to clarify, there is something that I used to do that prohibits me from having like dreams per se.
Oh, and would you care to explain?
Okay, so pot really fucks with you. It really messes with your brain.
Well, yeah, it's a drug.
No, but
How many
give
brain
me
cells
a
do you
month.
have?
10.
Oh.
Give me like a month, and then my dreams are gonna come back, and they're gonna come back hard. Because when
I don't like the way
I don't like the way you said that.
no, like they get pretty intense. They get pretty crazy.
Okay. All right.
Okay, us two with our dirty minds got to stop.
Yeah, pervs.
Oh, it gets so intense. They're gonna get real hard.
For you longtime listeners, you're going to really enjoy this when you look back at it and you'll be like, I was one of the first people who listened to the Penthouse podcast.
They dropped the N-word on the first episode.
Why do you guys say the N-word? Why don't you just say it? Now you're making me say it in my head.
That's good.
That's what we want.
Anyways, guys, we're going to wrap it up. So,
We're definitely gonna wrap it up this time.
All right.
That's
Well, thank you for listening. I hope you continue to listen. Please like, rate, and subscribe, and
Yes.
share as well.
As a reminder, we're on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. So, and yeah, go ahead and give us a like, follow
we'll be
us
uploading at least once a week.
once a week.
We may try for 2 times if possible, but
If I'd be down for 2 times.
we'll see.
Honestly,
It
the
depends
more
on
the
how
better.
the schedule works.
Look at Joe Rogan. He drops like 7 episodes in 2 days.
That's a bit of much. No, we definitely will experiment. Maybe we'll see if we can do more than 1 episode a week. But right now our schedules don't line up very easily.
Right. But if we have time for a second one in the week, then yeah, we'll definitely take that opportunity to do it just for the hell of it. But
We could do a half podcast. It doesn't have to be an hour.
Hmm.
You can little riff,
yeah, we can do
Maybe
that.
some current events.
current event, definitely.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.
Alrighty. Remember, leave us a rating. And this has been the Penthouse Podcast, and we'll see you on the next one.
Much love.
Bye, fuckers.